Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lisa. I film beauty related content here on YouTube, mostly makeup tutorials, reviews, first impressions, makeup tips, all that fun stuff. So before you leave, I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel so I get to see you weekly. Today's video is going to be all about mature skin. So foundation, primarily this is going to be about foundations that look good on mature, aging skin. I first should say that we are all aging, whether you're 15 or you're 75 years old, your skin is aging. If you are breathing and you have a pulse, you are aging. But for this video, this is really going to be about more mature skin. So skin that is starting to show the signs or has already shown the signs of aging. So that's really going to be your fine lines, your wrinkles, just where the skin has a lot of texture. So when we're babies and we're young, our skin is smooth and we have the skin that God gave us. And as we get older, into our later years, we have the skin that we have earned. That is one of the best beauty advices I have, and you know what I mean. It's one of the best pieces of advice I had gotten young in my, early on in my makeup career when I was about 19 or 20, and I didn't really understand the importance of really good quality skincare. Someone told me that. I was doing makeup on a older woman and she just was stunning, and I was talking to her and she said, honey, you know, when you're 20 years old, when you're your age, you have the skin that God gave you. When you're my age, you have the skin that you've earned. So, but anyway, aging is something that we are all doing. We cannot prevent it. That is just part of life. So I'm going to talk about my favorite products for more mature skin. So products that just look really beautiful on mature skin. Products that don't really magnify the texture of your skin, because there are products we can use that actually magnifies those fine lines and those wrinkles, and obviously we don't want to do that. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and then I'm also going to talk about some foundations that I have in my collection that I think are really great on mature skin. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this video really short. I've already had a longer intro than I intended to, but I'm going to keep this to the point. So first, when it comes to mature skin, I think the one thing that you want to really think about is you want to avoid putting a lot of heavy products on your skin. Thick, heavy products magnify texture. So it's kind of tricky because a lot of us want a lot of coverage and we want full coverage, but when you use a really full, heavy, thick foundation, that may cover your, brown spots or this coloration in your skin, but if it's too heavy, it is going to make the wrinkles and fine lines appear they're going to be more noticeable. It's going to bring more attention to them. So you want to keep the consistency of your product lighter weight, a little more liquidy, not so heavy. Okay, so that's one tip. The next tip is the finish of your foundation. So matte finish foundations tend to magnify texture. So if you're using a foundation that has a very, very matte, flat, dry finish to it, you are going to magnify those wrinkles and that texture in your skin. So you really want to look for something that has more of a natural or a satin finish. On the flip side of that, I have seen foundations that are really dewy or glowy that also magnify texture, because they have the dewy or the glowiness comes from almost like a pigment in it, like a pearlized pigment. MAC used to have one years ago. I don't even know if they still carry it, but it was called Hyper Real Foundation. And it was beautiful. And in the bottle, you could actually turn the bottle and see those crushed pearlized pigments. That will magnify texture because it's like shimmery or glittery, and maybe glittery is a little extreme, but shimmery, and that will also magnify texture. So you want to find a good balance between the two. I like to go with more of a satin kind of natural finish foundation. Also, a lot of heavy powder on the skin is going to magnify texture in the skin, so you want to stay away from really heavy, thick powders like full coverage powders or foundation powders. You want to stay away from those. If you feel the need to apply them, use a big fluffy brush. So something like this is going to apply it much more sheerly than something like this. The difference between these two brushes is obvious. One is a lot bigger, but what that really comes down to is that something that's softer and fluffier like this is going to pick up less product. Something that's shorter and the fibers are more dense is going to pick up a lot of product. So if you feel the need to use powder, use it very, very, very sparingly, and try and find a powder that is lightweight or sheer. Okay, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning of the video because this is where it all begins, but hydration. You want to make sure that your skin is really, really hydrated. You want to make sure, obviously, that you're using a very, very great skincare regimen. And most importantly, you want to moisturize your skin just before you put foundation on. So you want your skin to feel supple to the touch. You don't want it to feel bone dry, because again, that's just going to make your foundation have more of a matte finish, and that's not what you want. So you want your skin to feel moisturized and supple and hydrated just before before you put your foundation on. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. This is why you guys are all here. Let's talk about the foundations that I absolutely love to put on mature skin. And my skin is, okay, let's be honest. I mean, my skin is kind of okay, right? I don't think initially I have a lot of signs of aging yet, but I am starting to see that. I feel like over the last several years, I'm 34, just to give you guys an idea, I'm 34, but I feel like over the last 5 years, my skin has aged considerably. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Getting into my 30s, hormonal changes. I have 2 young kids. I don't get the greatest night of sleep like I used to. My diet is, you know, I eat pretty healthy, but I think it's just a combination of a lot of things. Stress, all of that stuff combined will age your skin, and I think that that has taken a toll on me. So I'm even noticing that I tweak my foundations. I can't use the same foundations that I used when I was 20 anymore, because they just look too heavy and they make me look older than I am. But anyway, okay, let me quit rambling. Let's get into the good stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 5 foundations here for you. These are ones that I just grabbed out of my personal collection. There are other foundations out there that are great, but this, again, is just what I have and what I love. We'll start with the drugstore foundation. It's the only drugstore foundation that I have in here, and it is by L'Oreal. It is the Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. This foundation is a beautiful foundation. This came out maybe a year or so ago, and it's just absolutely beautiful. The consistency of this is very lightweight. It is pretty liquidy. It has, I would say, sheer to medium coverage. You can build it to get a medium coverage, but you're not going to get a full coverage out of this. Even though it's a glow, it doesn't look really like pearlescent or dewy, or, I mean, it has a little bit of a dewiness to it, but it doesn't do what I was telling you earlier you want to avoid. It doesn't have those pearlized pigments to it that's going to magnify texture. It just absolutely looks beautiful on the skin. It makes the skin look really healthy, really hydrated. I would say if you have skin that is just aging, but you don't have a lot of discoloration, you don't need a lot of coverage, I would say this is the route to go. It's a very, very beautiful foundation. Okay, the next foundation is by IT Cosmetics, and it's actually a CC cream, so I don't really know that you can call this a foundation, although it covers, in my opinion, like a foundation. It's the IT Cosmetics CC cream. This is great because it has an SPF of 50, which obviously we should all be using an SPF in our moisturizer or foundation, but especially for, you know, when you're thinking about aging and preventing the signs of aging, SPF is where you need to be. It's what you need to be doing. And this has an SPF of 50, which is really high. But this has a, it says it has a full coverage. I would say this is pretty good coverage. I wouldn't know that, don't know that I would say full coverage, but it's definitely on the medium side-ish, little full-ish coverage, I would say. I like to have this one spot here. Actually, found it perfectly. Okay, so this spot here, it will not cover that, but it will cover everything else, so it's pretty good. And the finish on this is kind of like a satin. It's not dewy. It's not as dewy as the L'Oreal Pro Glow, but it's definitely not matte. It is absolutely beautiful. I can't recommend this enough. This is what I wear, I would say, 4 days out of the week when I'm not going to work and I want my skin to look pretty and covered, but not like I'm wearing a whole lot on my face. That is what I will wear. Okay, so this foundation I think offers more coverage than the other two. This is by Josie Maran. It's a VIbrancy foundation. This launched, I would say, last year or the year before, and it is an absolutely beautiful foundation. I assumed that this was going to be really dewy and glowy on the skin, and it really wasn't. It was kind of more of like a natural satin finish, just like the IT Cosmetics, but the wearability of this was phenomenal. It was so impressive. I didn't have high expectations in the terms of wearability when I did a video on this, and I will link that down below. And it actually wore really well throughout the day without touching up. I didn't get too shiny or oily looking at all. And it's beautiful, and it does offer great coverage. It has a beautiful consistency. It does feel like a thicker serum, but it doesn't feel heavy or look heavy on the skin. Okay, so I have 2 more foundations to talk to you guys about. The next one is Luminous Silk by Giorgio Armani. This is an absolute beautiful foundation. You've probably heard a lot about this over the years. It has been around for a long time, and I don't know what to say about it. I think it's beautiful. I have it on today. I do have it mixed with another foundation. I wanted to kind of dilute the foundation down I wanted full coverage today, but I wanted to dilute down the foundation that I was using that had full coverage, so I mixed a little bit of this in. The consistency of this is very, very lightweight. I would say the coverage on this is sheer to medium. You're not gonna really get more than a medium coverage with this, but it just looks really beautiful on the skin. It gives you a very healthy, luminous finish and makes your skin look very healthy, very flawless, very beautiful. I do feel the need to set with a powder with this, but again, I will use something very, very lightweight. I actually like to use the Makeup Forever HD powder or the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, which I could not find to show you guys, but I will have that link down below. That's one of my favorite too. Okay, and the last foundation, if you have been following me or watching my channel for any period of time, you've probably heard me talk about this foundation. I would say that this foundation is, I love this foundation. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's by Face Atelier, and it's the Ultra Foundation. Ultra Foundation, yeah. This one says Pro because I got it in the Pro size. It's just a smaller size because this is what I pack in my makeup kit whenever I do weddings. This foundation is just a super versatile foundation. It looks beautiful on everybody, on 80-year-olds, on 18-year-olds, on someone with a lot of discoloration, on someone with almost perfect skin. It just looks beautiful. I think the finish on this is just absolutely perfect. It's not too dewy at all. I wouldn't even say that it's glowy, really. I mean, it really does just look like natural skin. The glow that it gives looks like it's coming from within your skin. It doesn't look like it's a cosmetic product that you've applied to give you that obvious glow. It looks like it's naturally coming from within your skin. It is an absolutely beautiful foundation. The consistency of it is not thick, but it's not as liquidy as, like, say, the L'Oreal Infallible. It's got a little bit more thickness to it. You don't need a whole lot. One pump is all you need. I like to apply this with a buffer brush. I actually like the Cosmetics Dual End Foundation and Concealer Brush to apply this foundation. It's beautiful, you guys. It's long wearing. I don't know. All these foundations are great, but when I start talking about this, I just like talk about it like it's my first love or something. It's just incredible and it's amazing. And if you can get your hands on it, I would. The only thing is you do have to order it online. I don't really know that they're sold in retail spaces. Maybe if you live in parts of California or New York, maybe. I live in Austin, Texas, and we can't get this anywhere. The shade range is pretty lenient, so that's one thing obviously about ordering foundation online. It's hard, right? Because you like to test it and swatch it. This foundation, if you can kind of get in the range, you'll be good. Like, I wear a shade 4, but I could probably wear a 6 or a 5. There's a lot of flexibility in it because it really kind of just morphs to your natural skin tone and blends in flawlessly and beautiful, and I love it. Okay, and then the last tip I want to share, I'm kind of a little random here. I'm not really going in order, but the last tip I want to share is mixing a beauty oil in with your foundation. If you like a full coverage foundation, you want more coverage, or you like a matte finish, and even though I'm telling you to stay away from full coverage matte finish foundations, and you're listening and watching this video thinking, no, that's what I love and that's what I'm gonna wear, I understand, I get it. One thing that you can do is mix a beauty oil in with your foundation, and that'll help just give it a little bit more, it'll kind of tone down that matteness of it, and that full coverage. You'll still get the coverage that you want, and you'll still get kind of a long wearing effect, but it won't look as drying on your skin. So if you absolutely need a full coverage matte finish foundation, then just drop 1 drop of a beauty oil. The only one I could find was by Tarte. It's the Maracuja oil. Honestly, I don't use this. I think I just got this in a Sephora Playbox or something, but I found it and I wanted something to show you guys. But one that I really like is the Josie Maran Argan oil. I think that's a really great one to use. Every brand makes them, but I can speak from personal experiences that I really do like that one. So I will link that one down below. And I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys found this video helpful. It is quite a bit longer than I intended it to be, but if you like this style of video, like just quick tips and tricks, then let me know in the comment section below, and let me know some other topics that I can cover for you down below. And as I start doing more of these, hopefully I'll get quicker and more concise with them, and I won't feel the need to just go on and on and on, but that's what I do. That's how I roll. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.